Hello everyone and welcome to this fly tying video. Today we're going to tie a simple but effective pattern that is the Streaking Caddis. This is a really easy pattern. It only has two materials, some dubbing and deer hair. The most difficult with this fly is to get the deer hair right, but I'll show you some tips to make it easier. The hook I'm using is the Kamasan B100. This nice light wire hook for all kinds of emergers or dry flies, and in this case it works really well for the Streaking Caddis. This one is a size 14. The thread is the Uni 8/0 in tan, and this is just to match the color of the deer hair, but you could use brown if you have brown deer hair. You could even tie it in black or olive. So the possibilities are endless with this fly. To start, we'll put down a layer of thread. So start at the eye and take it down to the bend of the hook, and we'll even go a little further. And here you can decide whether you like it a little shorter or longer. You could just tie this on a straight hook. In this case I've gone down some turns down the bend, and here I leave the thread, and here is where the body will start. For the body you could use any kind of color, dubbing or even natural. Could go with some rabbit fur, as I will do, and I will go with this. This is caddis green, works well for the caddis, and we'll make a thin dubbing noodle. And then we want this fly to be tapered from the back to the front, so we'll try to do that. So start where you left the thread and go up with some turns. You can spin the dubbing to tighten it, and here I will need a little more dubbing, so if you don't have enough, just put on a little more and continue. And then when we reach the point of the hook, we can make some turns to build up the taper, and leave your thread at the point of the hook. Now we will tie in the other material, which is deer hair, and in this case I will go with the natural. The first thing to tie in is the wing, and for this we use deer hair. And here you have to take about 64 strands, so count them well and then cut off near the hide. So here they are, the 64 ones. Now it really depends. For this size 14, I would say take a little less than a pencil, and then what you do is grab the tips and take away all these fluffy stuff, and all the little hairs will come with. You don't want this when you tie the fly. So now we only have the nice long hairs, and tips first in the hair stacker, and here we have all the tips aligned. Take them with your left hand or right hand if you're left-handed. What you want to do is to try to keep all these tips aligned. If you have the length of the body, it should be twice this length, so measure this length, then grab it with your other hand, hold tight, then take up your thread, hold it between your fingers, this is a pinch loop, and then tie down, pass your thread through all these ends here and make sure to really tie down. Now grab all the ends and take them up, and now we can cut these off close. There we go. So now we have all these little ends here, and just tie it down. And this will add a little taper from the wing to the eye of the hook, and this will only help us with the form of the head. For the head of the fly we will use the same deer hair, and this time take about pencil or a little less. And for the muddler head we will only use these ends. This is the part where it has the most air in it, so it will make for a nice head. So take all the fibers and take off or take away all the fluff. Then holding the ends, cut off the tips, and here, to make this as easy as possible, you want to keep this as short as possible. So hold this in your left hand, make 2 loose turns over it, then as you pull down on your thread, let go with your other hand and then increase the pressure, and this should allow all the fibers or all the deer hair to spin around the hook. And if not, you could always put a little patch where it's needed, but here it worked quite well. Then take up your thread through these little ends, and here I have a little space left, so we will do the same, just with a little fewer hairs. Do the same, take away all the fluff, and here for this last part it's easier to leave the tips. This way we will have something to hold on to when we will tie off the fly. Here we have our little bundle. Hold it with your left hand, 2 loose turns over the top, and then let go as you tie down. A little trick to make these hairs that we just tied in blend with the other ones to make for a uniform head. Just take the thread back a couple of turns and then to the front again. Take your thread up to the eye, and here these longer hairs will help to hold them back when we'll whip finish and tie it off near the eye. Some turns at the eye, then with your whip finish off the fly, and here we can see that these ends are really helping to hold them back. There we go. 1, 2, 3 turns should be enough. Hold tight and then come in with your scissors and cut off your thread. For now it looks a little messy, but we will cut it down to the desired shape. To do this I usually start by cutting bottom flat, and then what you want to do is at an angle turn and cut off all these. The head should have a nice taper going from the eye back. It's funny how there's always this one hair that's not in place. You could trim this for hours and hours. A little neat trick to make the head look even better is with a lighter, and here you have to be really careful. Come in and just with the flame quite close, and this will burn down all these hairs a little. And if you unfortunately burned some of the tips, just cut these off, and here we can push the tips back again, put them where we want these to be. This technique makes for a really neat looking head to the fly. You just have to be careful not to burn these tips, but no, I like the shape of it. So there's the Streaking Caddis. Feel free to like and comment if you have any questions. And here you can watch the latest videos, and feel free to subscribe. This helps me a lot. So thanks for watching.